Hi, and welcome to the Passion Project. I'm your host, Coach Richard Bacon. Today I have some champions around me, and I celebrated with them because I wore this Ranger. I'm a Ranger fan too. They are now, I think, 3-0 in spring ball. So we're going to celebrate these champions, and I'm going to have these coaches from Seguin High School to tell you who they are and what they do. Coach?
Hi, everyone. My name is Charles Bryant. I'm the head boys and girls wrestling coach at Seguin High School. I've been there since 2015. Before that, I was the head boys and girls wrestling coach at LD Bell High School since 2009. So I've been in wrestling for a while, wrestled in high school, and got back in it. Was a football coach, but got back into wrestling because that was a love of mine. And we had some success when I was at LD Bell, had some kids win district and regionals and go to state. And then when I came to Seguin High School, we kind of picked right up in 2016 and went to state, and we've been doing it ever since. So I just love wrestling. I love Seguin and the kids there, and we work really well together, and I appreciate all their efforts, and we've had a lot of good times together at Seguin High School.
Coach, so I ain't trying to be funny here, but take us back to when you wrestled in high school. This your grown man weight here.
Yeah.
What size did you? What's
Well,
your division?
I was a heavyweight when I wrestled in high school.
How much weight is that?
Well, nowadays heavyweight is up to 285.
Up to
285.
Gotcha.
So like between 215 to 285.
Gotcha.
But when I wrestled, it was called unlimited. So literally, when I wrestled, I might have been around 260, 250, and I'm wrestling a 400-pound guy. I've done that before. So imagine your mom coming to one of your first matches and seeing a 400-pound guy that her baby is wrestling. So that was interesting. So they've
Right.
changed that now, so you can't be more than 285, probably for good reason.
Yeah, I think so. Especially the mothers can play.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Coach Cato, tell us about yourself, buddy.
Okay, so I'm Coach Cato, Coach Aaron Cato. I'm assistant at Seguin High School. So I've been there since probably 2021. It's going on 3 years right now. So, and he brought me in. Yeah, it's funny that we're sitting here. He brought me in to win the championship. And lo and behold, it worked out. But I've been coaching wrestling for over 15 plus years off and on. Football, wrestling coach, and from the great state of Oklahoma, you just grow up wrestling. So it's a rite of passage. So, yeah.
Right, and I didn't know,
life.
Coach, it's a small world, man. It's hard to miss me with stuff. Just like Coach and I was talking before we got on the air, and
Right.
he's from Virginia. My daughter's at Virginia State.
Right.
And with you grew up in Oklahoma as
Grew
well?
up Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Grew up in Tulsa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you go to Washington? Everybody asks you.
Everybody asks me about Booker T. Washington.
Right.
Booker T. Washington on McLean, but no, I grew up in it's a school called Casher Hall. So
Okay.
on the other side of town.
The only reason I brought up Washington is because Wayman Tisdale went there, and Billy Tubbs, who coached him at Oklahoma,
Right.
hired me as his assistant when he first came to TCU. I was on his first staff.
Okay.
And so obviously we talked about Wayman and Wayman and Wayman and Wayman.
Right.
And I knew Wayman's coach too. Can't think of his name now. His high school coach at Washington.
He retired several years ago, but I
Yeah.
do know what you talk about. He was a legend.
Yeah, he
But
is
when
a
you said Booker T. Washington, I thought you were going a different direction.
Oh.
So Booker T. Washington, it might be one of the most successful high schools in America. They have, in the high school, I grew up knowing about Kenny Mundy. So if you're a wrestler, you know about Kenny Mundy. But on his high school, in fact, that's who got me to wrestling, actually, because those kids were ahead of me. Well, not kids now, but everybody heard about him. So he wanted to be like that in that group, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they had two, I think, gold medal Olympians on his high school.
Gold medal.
Gold medal.
Olympians. Not just Olympians.
Not just Olympians, but gold medal.
Gold medal. Best in the world.
Yeah, on the high school team. So, yeah, so I grew up knowing about Kenny Mundy. I knew about Wayman. Like, don't get it wrong. Wayman was huge. Like, huge, but Kenny Mundy, gold medal wrestling, that's, if you're a wrestler, you know about Kenny Mundy. So he actually got me into it, actually.
Well, I see why Coach gave you that call. I see why he
You got to
gave you
surround
that
yourself
call.
with good people.
No doubt,
Yeah,
Coach.
you
No,
do. Iron sharpens iron.
The better coaches and players you have, the better coach you are, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, Coach. So you kind of told me, I had a couple of questions for you. You kind of told me how long you've been involved with wrestling
Right.
and stuff like that. But tell me some of the responsibilities of an assistant coach. What are some of the stuff you have to do? Now, have you ever been a head coach?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's funny, yeah, I've had,
I should have
so.
had you on that show where I had guys who were former head coaches, that are now assistant coaches. You would have fit right in.
I would fit in?
You would have fit right in.
I
Coach.
didn't know that.
Yeah, we've coached against each other.
Yeah,
So I knew I wanted
Oh,
to go.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so one of the stops, what's funny is, my first stop was at Lincoln High School
Wow.
in Dallas.
There you go, touching me again.
Yeah, funny, yeah.
Tigers,
man.
baby. I bled that
Tigers.
purple and gold. I still do.
Came a
bleed
long way.
that. Yep.
We used to have our wrestling practice, well, you know Lincoln set up. For those
Yes,
that don't know
yes,
the Lincoln
yes,
set up, so
yes.
Coach Samples actually provided, we used to have to wrestle in the meeting room right outside his office. That was our practice facility. And so it's come a long way. Now we have a whole wrestling room.
So tell me,
okay.
so the first question I want to ask you, since you
Yeah.
say you were a head coach, what is the major difference besides being the guy and being an assistant? Or did you learn something as a assistant? Which were you, a head coach first or assistant
I was
first?
head coach first.
Head coach first. Okay, so what did you learn as a head coach that helped you be a better assistant coach?
So what helped me as a head coach is like the preparation and the desire to win. And so I know what it's like where he's sitting. Like you have all these responsibilities that I got to get this done. I got to win. I got to, all these things. So coming in, in high school, I got to get the grades. They got to keep them grades going. We got to worry about kids dropping weight. We worried about a lot of different things. So I took it to say like, well, I know where he's coming from, right?
Right.
So I know the burden that he's carrying. So being head coach, I know I need to take some of those burdens off of him,
Off his
so he can do the things that he needs to do. It's a lot going into it,
Right.
Just like when we have a tournament called Cougar Classic, right? So he runs it. While he's running, he can't be worried about his wrestlers and preparing, and if they need this or if they get an instruction or even running practice. Like, all right, he gave me the blueprint. All right, it's time to run it. So, everything goes smoothly. So that's part of being an assistant, knowing what needs to be done and just taking care of him so he doesn't have to worry about, certain things.
So if you had to describe what's the most important thing in being an assistant coach, what one word would you use to describe?
One word, huh?
Yeah, one word.
Man, that's
It's kind of tough.
Can I cheat?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One word.
You put it in use it in a sentence.
I guess.
I need a guy. An
man.
assistant needs to be what?
Oh, the assistant.
Yeah, the assistant. What does he need to be?
Man, what word? Thorough.
Thorough. Okay.
Yeah, he has to be. He has to be. You gotta dot all your I's and cross all your T's. It's the little things. You do have to be thorough because in wrestling, it's the littles. And he's about to tell you in a little while when we start talking about East Shine State. It's the littlest things that can determine if you're going to state or you're not going to state. I don't know if you're going to get to the story, but it was a certain match. We weren't even at state yet. We were still in district where he left me to go to another match, and things were going good at first. And he looks down at the stadium, and our match is still going, and he's trying to wonder why this match is taking so long. It's a person that we should have beat in the first period. So it's 3 periods, right? First, you should have been done in the first period. He look up, and we in overtime, right? So that causes problems. But being thorough, it's the little things that took us in overtime, and man.
I like having
Another
coaches
turn
on the
tonight,
show.
we might
'cause
not be here.
I love having coaches on the show because you just kind of re-establish, you bring truth to things that we were preaching when I was coaching. And what we said was, just say it a little different. The little things are the big things.
It is.
We say that all the time. Okay. Just to give you an idea, some of the other coaches said in one word, one of the most important things is the assistant coaches being loyal. I could read that through what you were saying, Coach.
Yeah, I can see that.
Thorough, loyal, all that stuff. It ain't
Loyalty
one-
is not something that I have to worry about.
Coach, don't that make
And
it
that
easy?
makes life so much easier.
Yes, it is.
We're all pulling in the same direction.
I had a guy working with me last year that was I told him, he left a head coaching job to become my assistant. And I told him, I can't ever look at you as an assistant because I know what you've been.
Right.
So I won't refer to you. I'm going to refer to you as my associate head coach. And you have these responsibilities, and I'm going to expect you to do it because you know what a head coach wants.
Exactly.
Because you once were.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you something else. When I was an assistant coach in college, that was the first time I ever was an assistant in my mind, because my first 2 years as a high school coach is the only time I was an assistant coach. Wow. 2 years, period, until I went to college. And so I had no mentorship.
Right.
I had no one guiding me on what to do, because I worked at the 9th grade center and all the varsity stuff was at the high school.
Right.
So they never came down.
Right.
And my high school coach at the high school was my high school coach when I played there.
Oh, wow.
So I was at my old high school.
Right.
And nobody came down. They just kind of let me on my own do it. So I was hitting the road, going to these coaching clinics and picking up from them guys that knew something about, my sport.
Doing what you had to do.
Doing what I had to do.
Because you want to do it right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's get back to why we're here.
Okay.
All right, Coach. 120. So is that an up to 120?
Yes, the weight classes just going from the bottom is like 106, so up to 106. Then it's 113, up to 113, between 106, and then it's 120. So between 113 and 120.
Between 113 and 120 is what our boy Eshawn Tolbert, that's the division he won the state championship in.
UIL 5A state champion.
UIL 5A.
State champion.
The one with the gold medal.
That's right.
They gave out 3.
They gave out 6. They gave out 6 at state.
Oh, do they?
They gave out 6 at state.
Okay, but he got the gold.
But he got the gold.
Only one person could get that.
That's right.
Okay, Coach, I know you've had some conversations with him before, and unfortunately he couldn't be here. He's under the weather, and we would have really loved to have him so we could have heard from him what he had to say about this journey. But I'm going to ask Coach, and we're going to treat him right. We're going to treat him right, Coach, today.
Definitely.
Coach, what do you think his why was? What got him into wrestling? How long has he been wrestling, to your knowledge?
He's been wrestling a long time. He wrestled from a young age. He was in elementary school wrestling.
Wow.
And that comes out when you met him. When I first met him this summer for wrestling, and I checked up on him and saw he had done in previous stops where he came from. And I was like, well, this guy really has a chance. He's got some things that he does. The way he moves lets me know he can wrestle. Okay. And so it didn't take long. And then when he got in the room with our guys that we already have, we had some pretty good guys. But he certainly came in and stood out from the very beginning. So we knew that he was bringing a special skill set, and it was just a matter of us honing it in and making it fit into a game plan to make him be successful. He had never won a state championship before. He competed and got into state tournaments and the like, but he's never won the whole thing. So it's just a matter of kind of using those skills and kind of getting a plan together that he could be successful with.
You already answered the second question I was going to ask you. Had he ever been to the state tournament?
Yeah, he moved from Indiana.
Oh, okay.
This summer, he and his
he's
younger brother.
New to your school.
He's new to my school.
Okay.
He and his younger brother. And his younger brother had some success this year as well. He's ranked in the state at 138 pounds. But he was a sophomore. So we're thinking
he's
bigger. And when he did Eshawn's first victory at the state tournament, he upset the number 2 ranked wrestler in the state from Melissa. And after that match, one of the reporters who were there, that was a big upset. And then one of the reporters who were there wanted to interview him. And in that quick little interview he did, he asked him, what motivates you, what made you compete so hard to win that match? Because it was an 8-6 match. And he said, well, I just want to be an example for my brother. So they are very close, Eshawn and LaShawn. And that's really his why, I think, is he wanted to be a good example for his brother so that he can continue the success for that name and at Seguin High School.
And Eshawn is a senior, and his younger brother is a what?
Sophomore.
Oh, so you got him for 2 more
2 more years, and we're looking forward to big things from him.
So you're going to be back on the podcast.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Okay.
I like the way this seat feels.
Yeah, okay. Because it's a good seat.
It is a good seat.
It's a good seat. It's good to be around state champions, man.
It is. I appreciate that.
So I'm going to just be straight up with you. I don't understand a lot about wrestling in high school. I'm that Fritz Von Erich era wrestling,
right?
WWE, all that stuff.
Right.
We talking about real wrestling, not the backyard wrestling,
right.
And all that stuff. How, football, you speak of in rounds. You used to say, got through the first round, second round, third round, fourth round.
Right.
Basketball coaches, we usually talk about getting to the regional tournament or the third round. We might say third round, but we know it's regional quarterfinals,
Right.
stuff like that. How many matches after district play is over with, or district competition is over with, does it take to get to the state tournament? How many matches does he have to win?
Well, after Eshawn was district champion, he won 2 matches at district to become district champion. The next round is regionals. And the goal at regionals is to finish top 4 at regionals. So he had an interesting journey at regionals. He won his first match pretty convincingly. And then his second match was to get into the semifinals. And he lost to the regional champion from Frisco, Centennial High School, in a very close match. 7-4, somebody we had planned for, knew it was going to be a good match. And we didn't wrestle our best. We didn't wrestle the way we needed to wrestle. So it was a close match. But he had to go on the backside of the bracket. When you go into the loser's bracket, you have to win yourself back to get into the top 4. So he wrestled himself all the way back to the 3rd and 4th place match, winning 2 matches. And he was wrestling for 3rd place against the person he defeated for the district championship from Midlothian High School. And we were in perfect position to win that match. And there was a little controversy at the end, and we ended up losing by 1 point. So I didn't think we should have lost, but it happens. So we learned from that, and because of that, kind of interesting when it comes to wrestling is that put him in 4th place, and which is important because the top 4 go to state. But since we had not wrestled the wrestler who got 5th place, wrestling tries to be fair by saying, we don't know if you're actually better than the 5th place wrestler. So the 5th place wrestler can challenge you for your spot to go to state. So we should have gotten 3rd in my estimation, but since we didn't, that 5th place guy actually got to challenge us for our spot at state.
Did he?
And he did. And he paid for it because we beat him 19-4, and it was pretty bad. Wow. And I could tell that Eshawn was not happy with the fact that he had to, not that only that he had lost, but now this guy's trying to take his spot at state.
Disrespect.
Plus the guy that he lost to came in behind him in district.
Correct. So he was
he was on a mission.
he was in a mode, and ever since that was the last match he lost of the year because he destroyed that guy from Frisco in the challenge match, and then he went on to state and upset. He was not favored to win any of his matches at state, and he defeated the top 10 guys in the state, 3 of the top 10 ranked guys in the state, including the defending state champion in the
So anybody else want to challenge me now?
That's right. That's right. He dropped the mic after that last match.
Man, I love it. I love it, Coach. I'm glad you set it up with that because we're going to show some of his clips here in a minute. There's another question I was going to ask. Once you get to the state, and you talked about the number of matches you had to do to get there.
Right.
How many matches do you have to win at the state? Because you're going there 1 of 4, right?
Well, there's 4 from our region.
That's what I'm saying. 4 out of your region.
Correct.
Going.
And there's 4 regions, so a total of 16 wrestlers.
16 wrestlers there.
Yes.
And they bracket you?
That's correct.
How do they seed you? Based on what?
Based on
it's
a matrix of the regional champions. That'll be a number 1. So there's 4 number 1s, and they wrestle the 4 number 4s.
Right.
And then the 2s and 3s wrestle each other. And then in the next round, whoever wins wrestles each other. So because of what happened at regionals, we had to get the number 2 guy in the state who was number 1 in his region.
So you ended up 3rd or 4th in region?
We got 4th at regionals, so we wrestled a number 1.
One guy, right?
Right, but he was ranked number 2 in the state. So
he was the number 2 ranked overall
in
wrestler
the state,
in the state.
but he was number 1 from his region. So
you know what though, Coach? If I would have talked to you before you went to region, I would have had you. I would have had you already hyped. I tell everybody when you leave the brackets, there's always a 4-1 upset. It's always. You look at it. I was that 4-1 upset on both ends. I was number 1 once and lost to a 4, and I was a 4 and beat a 1.
Right, it definitely can happen.
It happens.
It does.
It don't mean you out because you in because you in.
That's right. That's right. All you got to do is win 1 match.
All you got to do is win 1 match.
You got to beat him today.
Today,
at this moment.
Yeah,
That's
you ain't
right.
got to be better than him every time.
That's right.
Today,
Just beat
you
him
do.
right now.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
need to, Coach, man, we on the same page.
Definitely.
Well, you get me fired up. I have to come out of retirement, man.
Hey,
Maybe
come
we
on
wanna
over
go
this.
some
Come
more.
on over watch the
It
match.
will get you fired up. It will. So you do know the district in wrestling is a little bit different, right? I know you had asked about it. So it's not everybody qualifies to regional. If he's not top 4, it's the same thing. He doesn't make it to regionals, and we're not sitting here.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. And he went in overtime in
his
district.
first match.
In district,
In district.
just to have a shot to go to regional.
But
Right. Yeah, so that's the match you was mentioning earlier, where I was I couldn't stay for it because
he's
we had a
somewhere
lot
else.
of guys going at the same time. And so the young man from Midlothian Heritage, we were wrestling. And, you know, no disrespect to him, but I knew what Eshawn's caliber was. And I'm like, okay, if we took him down, I'm like, okay, we're going to win this match. And I go coach somebody else. And I'm watching from across the gym, and I'm thinking, well, why isn't this match over yet? What's going on? So when I finish coaching my match, I go over there, and we're in overtime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? And we won in overtime by a takedown. But it was a matter of Eshawn getting locked in. Like I said, once he had that challenge match in the regionals, well, I could tell he was ready. But it was a matter of you don't have to be your best at state. It's a matter of getting there.
He ain't said
He
like
ain't said
that.
like that. You know, he gave me that whisper in the ear, cause why this match ain't over.
I did.
Yeah, he walked over there to you, talked to his boys, and say, man, look, we about to
I wanted that to be done.
Yeah, what's wrong? Why this match ain't over?
I'm glad, because this podcast is supposed to tell the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell the
That's
truth.
right.
Tell the
That's what
truth.
happened, yeah.
We like to have that behind the scenes stuff. I did a show with my best friend Rolando Blackman, and we talked about a lot of stuff that went on when he was playing in the NBA
Right.
and behind the scenes. And I think people get a kick out of hearing the truth.
Yeah, you do.
truth.
Because they
That's
know,
right.
because you know.
They don't see that part.
No, yeah,
Right.
you don't see it, but you know what you're saying at the house, right?
Yeah. That's
right.
Now, that ain't what he said.
That ain't what he said.
Yeah. We're going to show that clip of the semifinals. And that semifinals clip has a lot of importance in it because this was a kid that he lost to, if I
Correct.
got it right?
Correct.
He lost to before we get to state.
Correct.
And now I got another shot at it.
That's right.
So I challenge you again.
That's right. And what's funny is we kind of, you know, it's funny to us as coaches, but we know what Eshawn can do and how he's going to wrestle. And we knew that he was going to win on his feet, meaning take the guy down, because he has a skill set he's really good at that. We work it in the mat room, and we do what's called king of the mat all the time, where who's the guy that can take the other people down in the room and be the best. So we know Eshawn is the best at that. So when we got to the state tournament, knowing we had to wrestle that same guy again, we had our plan on what we were going to do. And I'm sure that guy knew what our plan was going to be too, because he watched every single match we wrestled. I kept looking around, and there he was watching our match. So I knew he knew what Eshawn was all about. But it's a matter of, can you stop it? You can know what's coming, but can you stop it or not? And so it was kind of a joke that we were in the workout room, and I could see the guy over there, you know, working out, getting ready for his next match against us. And he was just in the room doing what we call sprawls. And that's when somebody's attacking your legs. You sprawl back to the ground and drop down like you're doing almost like an up down, but you're protecting your legs. And I was thinking to myself, well, he must know we're coming for those legs tonight, but it's not going to make a difference because we got a plan in place.
I got one other question for you about Eshawn. Him being such a great, I'm going to say great, because I don't usually say great unless you're a champion of something. And district champion ain't big enough.
Right, that's right.
But he's district plus now, district and state champion.
Correct.
Yes. What school did he beat in the finals? Because we didn't got to do it in the semifinals.
We got Frisco
Then-
Centennial back and avenged our loss from the regional tournament.
Okay, so what school did the kid go to?
And that set us up for a match against Uvalde,
Okay.
the defending state champion,
He was the defending state champion.
at that weight class. So he didn't gain any weight. He stayed right there where he was. As a sophomore, he won the state championship. Now he's a junior, so he's the defending state champion.
Wait a minute, man. This
42
This
and
dude
1.
then took the toughest road to the state champion. Man, this state championship looking bigger and better every second.
I'm telling you, it was a match. It was a
Three number
magical journey.
ones.
Give you an example. So in 1990, we were in the Final Four in Austin at the time when they were playing the state tournament in Austin. And we played Bernie. Now, we played Boswell out of Fort Worth. And Bernie played Port Arthur Lincoln, I
Okay.
think, or somebody really good. And they upset him.
Okay.
And somebody asked me, because that other team was ranked number one. Would you rather play? Man, I want to play who I can beat. That's who I want to
That's
play.
right.
Now, I'm not saying I can't beat them.
Right, but I don't have to.
But if I ain't got to play them.
That's right.
But this dude, wait a minute, look at him again. This dude then ran through all the dudes.
He did.
Yeah, 3 number ones.
And some of them twice.
He did.
And got challenged.
Yes.
Man, look at him.
Came
look
that
at
close
him.
to not even making the state tournament.
And then, and that too. They almost didn't even make
Didn't
it.
even make it there. No.
Man, this is coach. We got to build a statue or something. This is some good stuff. Now, with that being said, Any plans with college? Any colleges offering yet?
He has some college offers. He's deciding what he wants to do because he has a family business that had his heart set on getting into, from my understanding. But now that he has some opportunities, he's trying to make some decisions about whether he wants to push that off and go use his skill set in college. So he's still deciding now. But he definitely has opportunities.
Okay. Now, Coach, some specific questions for you. What makes Eshawn special, Coach?
Well, like I said, from the first day I met him, and he, put on our workout gear and got on the mat, he's very quick and sudden. It's like a thing that transcends sports. It's kind of like if you are a basketball player, your first step. People can't respond to it. It's like if you are, a running back or a wide receiver, you make that first cut and you're already gaining ground on the next area. That's kind of how Eshawn is when it comes to wrestling. When he makes a move, it's out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, what happened to me? Good example of that is when we wrestled the Melissa guy in the first round. It was a hard-fought match, but it culminated in him doing a takedown in the third period to go up by 3. And when he did it, literally all the crowd around us all went, ooh. And when the crowd at state,
It was nice.
it was nice. And it happened so fast, they were like,
Because there's more than one meet going on. Match going on
yes,
at the
it's
same
10 mats going at the same time.
And his
and
mat-
all around our area, you heard everybody go, ooh. And I'm like, yeah, I see that in practice all the time.
All the time.
But y'all are seeing it for the first time. He's
Coach, I like how you described it. You said sudden and what?
sudden. Yeah, that's right. He's sudden. He's so quick and he's sudden.
Quick
when he
and
says it.
sudden.
That's right.
Quick and sudden.
So people they don't know how to respond to it. And it's funny how when they wrestle him the next time, because he wrestled several people more than once, they wrestle completely differently because they know I can't relax at all because right when I think he's not doing anything, he's doing something and it's too late. So that young man had never seen him before. And so when the time came, he didn't even know what happened. He was down and didn't even see how it happened to him. So.
Would you say he's a pretty confident kid?
Oh, he definitely is. He could put him on the mat against anybody, and he feels like he's going to win.
And see, people get confident and cocky mixed up. If you can't be cocky if you're not good.
That's right. That's right.
So
that doesn't make sense.
No, it don't make sense. So he's good. He has the right.
That's right.
To have that confidence.
That's right.
Right.
And that's a thing that can get in your way at state because I've had people go to state that I thought had a legit shot of winning the whole thing. But if you don't go in there knowing that you're going to have a chance to win the whole thing, you're surprised when you actually have a chance and you can't jump on it when it's there. And so you have to coach them into that. Whereas with Eshawn, we put together a plan, and Coach Cato and I knew, yeah, he's ready. He's ready to go do whatever comes. We're prepared, and he knows he's prepared. That's something sometimes kids don't realize that you were ready for whatever happens. He knew he was ready for whatever was going to happen. We had the plan in place.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm going to show y'all the second clip where we introduced, the second clip is going to show you the introduction of the wrestlers who are going to meet each other in the finals. Here's that clip. All right. All right, Coach, back to you, Coach. This is his first state championship. Did he win any? You say Indiana?
Yes, he did not win any state championship.
He did not win any in Indiana. And this was his only chance at winning one in Texas.
Correct.
Because he was a senior.
Because he's a senior.
Okay. Do you ever coach a state champion before Eshawn?
Yes, I've been to the state championship going back to when I was in LD Bell. We went there to compete. But when I first came to Seguin High School, 2015, 2016, I took 4 or 5 girls. Generally, we've had more success at Seguin with girls. But I took 4 or 5 girls, and I had 2 place at state that first year I was there. And that was 2016, and I had a couple girls place 4th in 2018. I had a girl get 3rd in 2019 and 2020. And then I had a girl, Talasia Sims, who just graduated last year. She got 5th and 3rd in 21 and 22. So we're regulars there, but you take for granted the whole, when they walk out the champions to wrestle in the last match, like the video that you saw, the last time I did that was in 2016. And that was my first year at Seguin. And to think that it would take 8 years before I'd be back in the big show again, I was reflecting on that with Coach Cato. I was like, man, You never know when your next chance is going to be. You got to take advantage of it when it comes.
And you should be celebrated for the ones that you do because, like you say, you don't know
You don't know.
when the next one next one's coming.
That's
so,
true.
And don't let, Coach, I'm serious, do not let anyone sell what you guys accomplished this year shorter than what it's supposed to be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm serious. I mean, stick your chest out, man. I mean, you already seen the journey, how hard it is.
Right.
And now you're going to tell me that what we accomplished is nothing? Who are you? First of all, who are you
Right.
to say that? You ever been there down that road? Oh, you can't, Coach. You can't do this. You got lucky. I don't care if I got lucky. I don't care what you want to say. The wind was blowing right that day or whatever. The rings count.
That's
man.
right. And I can't tell you how many people reached out to me to congratulate me. You wonder how you've impacted people and how they feel around you. There were so many warm congratulations that I received. I was showing to Coach Cato, and I'm like, I haven't talked to this guy in years. There was somebody up in the stands who was like, Coach Bryant, I don't know if I recognize who the guy was. I recognized the face, I know who it was. But it's just people saying they just want to let me know that they appreciate, the journey.
And thank you guys for all of that appreciation. But Coach did that for a bigger reason. He did what he did because that's what he's supposed to do. As a coach, you're supposed to give everything you got to try to get the best out the kids, right?
Right, definitely.
And you did that for you. Now, all of the accolades that come along with it, I'll take it. But that two people who out there trying to say, man, you ain't done nothing, you can't coach because you got one state champion or what, that's one more than a whole lot of people.
That's
because
right.
a whole lot of people ain't been coach.
That's right. That's right. I thought I was a good wrestling coach before I won the state championship. But
Coach, so we all better when we got better wrestlers.
That's right. That's
better
right.
basketball players,
That's
better
right.
football players.
That's right.
We have the state championship match against Uvalde in the third period. And Coach is going to walk us through what took place during this third period. Coach?
All right, well, at this point, the score was 2-2. All right, we had scored a takedown, and that young man had gotten an escape and a stalling call against us, so it's 2-2. So we chose to be on the bottom, even though Coach Cato wasn't quite sure if he wanted us to be there. We chose to be on the bottom because we figured we could get out. And if we got out and got 1 or 2, then we figured the match would be over because Eshawn's so good on his feet that you're not going to be able to take him down. He's going to be the one doing the takedowns. So we're struggling to get our 1 here, and the guy's tough. And then right here, it ended up being a 2-point reversal instead of just getting an escape. So now we're up 4-2. So in our minds, we're going to win this match. As long as we don't make any silly mistakes, we want to make sure we're pressuring him, riding him tough, not giving away any reversals where he can tie it back up. We let him have the 1. So now we're up 4-3. All right, and at this point, we're on our feet, and we're not going to get taken down because Eshawn always wins in these scenarios. So you can see right here, we go out of bounds, we come back to the middle. Again, at this point, it's about preserving the win that we already have. We've already done enough to win it, and we're better on our feet. So in these scenarios, we're kind of making that guy press to try to go out of his comfort zone because he knows that he can't really beat us on our feet. So now we're just circling and protecting our lead.
Pretty nice crowd. Where is this held at, Coach?
This is at the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas. It's an incredible arena. I've been at state at Delco down in Austin. 1 year was at the Caldwell Center in Garland, but this is by far the best place I've ever been for the state wrestling tournament in Texas.
What's going on here now?
So now he's snapped us down, and if he gets behind us, he'll get 2. So now we have to circle away and make sure we put what I call our stop sign up, not let him behind us, get back to our feet. Again, we sprawled, got our legs back here. Now we have a chance to score. But again, we don't need to score in this scenario. All we need to do is protect our lead because, again, we're still up 1. So the pressure's on that guy to attack us and get us down. And again, see, we sprawl here, and now we're just watching the clock as it counts down because we know we've already won this match. And he's watching it, and that's it. We won, and Eshawn is one of the quietest guys you'll ever meet. But you can tell he's excited that he's done it. The mission was accomplished. Shakes hand with the champion from last year, and now recognizing himself as the new champion. And in wrestling, we shake hands. The young man came and shook my hand. He's going back over, and now Eshawn is shaking their coach's hand before he comes over, and we get our celebration.
That's you picking him up?
That is picking him up. That's a really proud moment there.
Right. All right. Coach, is that the first state championship at Seguin?
In the history, in wrestling.
In wrestling, that's what I mean.
Yes, in wrestling, the first ever. First ever.
And it can't be 2 firsts, can it?
No, there can only be 1 first.
Come on back up, Coach.
That was it.
Come on
That was
back
the
up,
one
Coach.
first.
Come on back up, Coach. Coach, how many, and I failed to ask this question. As a head coach, have you ever won a state title or had a
No. So this is good. I'm enjoying this. So I had all the other numbers except one. So third, fourth, and places. But yeah, this right here is this is huge. This is a big one.
Well, I feel a part of the family now that I've had you guys on the show, which means now I'm going to have to come back and watch Little Brother next year and keep up with him.
That's right.
Or make sure that we stay in touch so you can keep up with what Little Brother does.
Definitely.
And then we can get him back on this show or get him on this show.
That'd be great. That'd be
All
great.
right. Coach, I always have a surprise question. I don't send it to you.
Right.
Catch you right off the cuff. When you started this season and you looked at those wrestlers and you was giving them your before the season speech about your expectations and all that, did you see a state champion out there?
I saw the possibility. I saw a distinct possibility. Because like I said, you can't get Eshawn on the mat and not notice his skill set.
So he was the one.
He was the one.
He was the one.
He was the one. Just a matter of, you got to make your changes. You got to condition. You got to get him to think scenarios out and everything. But in terms of the skill set, I knew it was a possibility. He and I had that conversation. If we can just get everything through the season, okay, don't get injured or anything. And by that time, we would have built up enough where we understand how I'm coaching him and how he's wrestling. And we kind of blend. I don't want him to wrestle like I want him to wrestle, but I don't want him to wrestle like he's been wrestling. I want to find that in between where we can both, I can let you do what you like to do and try to come up with a plan that fits that, but also stay within the things that'll keep you safe and in the best scenario. And I knew it was possible. Would I have bet on it? Yeah, I don't know about that because I've been coaching a long time and it never happened. But I knew it was a possibility.
Well, great. I asked that question because I remember coach, you were talking about when you first got to Lincoln. My first year at Lincoln, we had a meeting with all the coaches. The head coach said, who in the room, I have to go to his voice, who in there think that they can win a state championship? And I'm new to Lincoln. This is my first year. I raised my hand up. And nobody, like, all this talent over here. Y'all you think all that talent, plus me?
Right, that's right.
Shoot.
Y'all didn't have me before.
Right? And nobody raised their hand up. And I won state the second year, and everybody was shocked.
You got to believe.
Basketball, and it was the first ever.
There you go.
You know? Yeah,
Congratulations.
That's what I'm saying, Coach. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm praising you.
I appreciate that.
When you win something and you're the first, and Lincoln has been good in basketball for a long time. I mean, back when my brother was playing back in the 60s, way back in the 1900s. We played in the 1900s.
Right, yes, definitely.
Got to get him to tell the big, and that's a miracle.
Okay.
But he's missing a
He's
huge.
leaving something out on me.
Come
on,
huge
man.
factor. You got to get him to
on,
talk
Coach.
about getting Eshawn back and why this state was so impressive. Ask him how long it took that kid to get it back in shape and what happened before
Tell us
state.
the story.
Well,
real
without
quick.
going into great detail about Eshawn didn't wrestle the middle part of the season.
Okay.
So right when the season started in November, he only competed once before Christmas, and that was at a tournament, a match at Keller Central, and he beat that guy in less than 20 seconds. That was the only time he wrestled, and he hadn't been at practice since the end of October. He just showed up, weighed in, beat that guy, didn't wrestle anymore, and then we got to January, and we were like, well, we're about to go to district, so are we going to do it, or what are we going to do? And finally, he was like, yeah, I'm ready. And once he said he was ready, he was ready. His mind switched. Whatever I asked him to do, he was ready to do it. We did some extra work. We worked on the weekends and did some weight conditioning and a lot of conditioning to get his conditioning back up to point. And to go from having not had a serious practice in 2 months to all of a sudden that first match we talked about at the district tournament where they went to overtime, that I'm like, why is it not over yet? I was worried because I knew he wasn't in the shape he wanted to be in yet. So we need to go ahead and get that match over with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the longer we go, the much it's going to hurt us later on. So he got through it, though, and his conditioning improved. And before you know it, we got our first state championship.
Coach, go ahead and tell us this other version, Coach. It sound like he skipped some stuff. Go ahead, Coach. We live. Go ahead.
It was remarkable because every week that the tournament went longer is a better chance that I knew he was going to win state because he's getting in shape. And the in shape Eshawn, I put my money on him anytime. Anytime. But ask him this. Ask him who's the toughest 120-pounder in the state of Texas. He won't tell me. Ask him if he'll tell you now.
Coach, who's the toughest 120-pound guy in the state, Texas?
It's Eshawn Tolbert from Seguin High School.
Because he has two. His wrestling partner runs 6A.
But
wrestling
part of what
championship.
Eshawn's journey in bridging that gap for getting himself in shape is that we worked out with our Arlington Martin High School.
Oh, okay.
And they have a defending state champion over there, Isaac Aravello, and they became wrestling partners, doing extra work, helping Eshawn get himself back into shape. And so now, I think for the first time I've ever heard of, in the same city, at the same weight class, we have the UIL 5A state champion from Seguin High School, Eshawn Tolbert, and they have the UIL 6A state champion from Arlington Martin, Isaac Aravello. So I have a picture of those two with their medals at state, and they were workout partners during that ramp-up period for Eshawn. So it was a great situation.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, but y'all keep touching me. So when I was at Lincoln, when we won the state title in 1990, we won the 4A, which is now 5A.
5A.
And Kimball won the 5A, which is now 6A.
that's right.
And we were the first district to ever do it in basketball.
Well, there you go.
Two teams in the same school district winning multiple state titles in the same sport.
Yeah.
That's
See,
amazing.
Coach,
There's so many things that go with this journey that make it so magical, from getting him in shape to what he ate at state. That's a whole nother story in
that's a whole
itself.
nother
but
Right.
it was a lot, but it was a magical journey. I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Well, I also want to thank Bobby Thigpen, one of my closest friends, who's also a coach at Seguin High School,
Yes.
for getting me this information about Coach Bryant, Coach Cato, and what they're doing and what they're doing at Seguin. If you haven't bought a ticket for next year, y'all better get one. They're going to sell out quick. So we get some of them wrestling matches.
That's right.
All right, this has been your host, Coach Richard Bacon with the Passion Project. See you next week.